Hey, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about how I painted this pair of latex ears. These are the Small Elf Ears by Aradani Studios. The character therefore is a half-elf, so I wanted something with a lower profile. I'll be posting the link to these in the description box for anyone interested in purchasing a pair of their own. I will also be doing a later video from Middle-earth and Makeup Monday about the character makeup look that I wore with this at the Ren Fair this year. Also, if you are curious how my trip to the MD Ren Fair was, keep an eye out for my video discussing that, which will go up before the end of November. Anyways, on to the video. So I went ahead and painted the first ear so that the sealing spray could dry while I worked on the second one. This spray can really come out of the can fast, so I try to spray it at a distance, and I will go more into my product choice for this at the end of the video when I'm finished with the second ear. I started with a cheap blue eyeshadow because I'm doing the veins first. Mine is a little shimmery, but when I'm finished, it won't matter. I also squeezed a few drops of this liquid into the cap of the shadow. It's a waterproofing product designed for eyeshadows. I just feel like it gives it a little bit extra grip on the latex and it makes painting it on easier. I like to make sure the shadow is mixed properly with the liquid before I actually start painting it on the ear, but once I'm happy with it, I just kind of go. If it helps, definitely use reference pictures for veins, but I kind of just look at it and paint it on until I'm happy with the result. Sorry, it's not more scientific than that. Once I'm happy with the placement of the veins, I'll start softening the edges of them up a little bit with my fingers before I move on to the next step. But the next step is foundation. I'll do another video at some point about how to mix paint specifically for prosthetics. Like if you need to do like fun colors that don't come in foundation, or you want something that's gonna last a little longer. I definitely think that using the method I'm using today probably isn't as durable as more professional methods, but it's definitely easy to do at home this way. And I've really experienced minimal fading on the ears I've painted like this so far, and I have a lot of ears. So that's just my 2 cents, though I'm not a makeup professional by any stretch of the imagination. Since I am using stuff from my makeup kit, I picked out a foundation that matches my skin tone, and then I just start blending it onto the ear until it's got a nice even coat. And then once I'm happy with that, I just kind of move on from there. I feel like the sheerness of the foundation helps soften up the veins. It makes it look a little bit more like real skin to have it over top of the veins like this. But once the foundation is smooth, I use a pretty hefty coat of baby powder. This seals the foundation, and it makes blending with the eyeshadow I'm about to use a lot easier, so that it's not just sticking directly like to still tacky foundation. Next, I pick a medium brown eyeshadow. I just have an e.l.f. palette, pretty cheap. Since these ears are gonna be like a peachy skin tone, I would prefer to use a warmer brown for this step. Then I take a round eyeshadow brush and just kind of start sketching in like the shadows and the creases on the ear to give it some starting dimension that's not too harsh. And then once I'm happy with it, I use my kabuki brush to soften it out a little bit more. And then after this first layer of shading is done, I get started on blushing the ear. The product I use for this is a NYX Press eyeshadow. I really like NYX products. They stay on really well, and they're not expensive. So if you're on a budget, 10 out of 10 would recommend. The brush I'm using for this is technically a concealer brush, but the bristles are firm without being like hard. I don't know if that makes sense, but it gives me like a decent amount of product without creating harsh lines of red. I also feel like blushing really is kind of what brings ears to life. It's definitely one of my favorite steps in the process. And next, I'm gonna take a little bit more foundation and blend it out over parts of the ear that maybe look a little too red or that I want to brighten up again. And I just kind of stipple it over the areas with the pointy side of the sponge before I go back and use like the round side to actually blend it out together. And then once that foundation layer is blended, I go back with the blush again over any parts that I want smoother or that I took too much away from. You know, it's just kind of eyeball it until it looks right again. Next, I'm going to take a darker, slightly cooler matte brown eyeshadow to go in and give the creases on the ear another layer of dimension. I could not tell you where this mini palette came from. I've had it for so long, I should probably throw it away, but it's really good for this specific purpose, and I don't remember where I bought it from, so RIP. And then once I'm happy with how that looks, I use another layer of baby powder to help blend it out a little bit more. And then before you move forward, I usually like to put both ears next to each other just to see how they compare. As you can probably tell from the video, the details on one are a little bit darker than the other, so I'm just gonna go back in a little more with the brown shadow to even them out. And then once they look good, I seal them. I like to use spray bandage because it is waterproof and flexible. You can get it at a lot of pharmacies, so you don't have to order like a professional level like sealing spray. Price wise, you know, I mean, it's spray bandage, so that's that. It's also nice for like sealing stencils on body paint, but just keep it away from your face and eyes. Bad time. Great for latex ears though. And that's how I painted these ears with stuff from my makeup kit. Ta-da!